What are you insecure about?
My height,
Why?
because I want to be 6'3",
How tall are you?
6'2".
Every single person in this world has insecurities. They affect us on various levels and in different periods of our lives. I was inspired to make this video from the reaction to a TikTok I made a few weeks ago. I saw so many people sharing their insecurities, and I believe it would be worth it to share my thoughts on this topic. There are so many different forms of being insecure, but over the course of this discussion, I will address some common types, themes, and effects. Within each section, I will also incorporate my own insecurities. I would also like to add that this is not a video about working on yourself. I'm not going to give advice on improving something you are insecure about. Rather, I will discuss how you can change your perspective on insecurities so that they do not play as much of a negative role in your life. Let's get started. In this section, I'm going to cover what I believe to be the two primary areas that cause insecurities: physical traits and qualities or facts about oneself. Additionally, I will discuss the effects of these feelings, which are shared between both pillars. Let's start with insecurities related to physical traits. I'm sure you can think of the main ones: height, weight, facial structure, symmetry, the list goes on. Everybody knows that one part of their body that always sticks out to them in the mirror. For me, I used to be insecure about my overall facial structure. My nose was large, my skin was not clear, and I had an unflattering side profile. Now, I never really learned to overcome this insecurity. However, with time, my problem was naturally solved. I didn't turn into a new person, but my face changed enough as I got older to a point where I was pretty content with it. The second cornerstone is feeling insecure about a quality or fact that is a part of you. With qualities, it could be that you are insecure about your lack of skill in a certain area of life. For facts, it might be an embarrassing moment from your past that you can't quite get away from. Whatever the case, you see it as a weakness, and it puts a strain on your life. Probably my biggest insecurity is the fact that I am inexperienced with girls. This feeling started when I was around 12 or 13 and has grown ever since. I try my best to not let it negatively affect me, and I will talk more about that later, but I will admit that it has weighed down on me for a long time. Now, let's talk about the specific effects that these insecurities cause, which are common among both areas. On the first level, you have decreases in self-confidence, self-esteem, and less motivation to take risks. Your insecurities will make you view yourself less than what you are, and it will prevent you from being your best self. On a deeper level, feelings of hopelessness can emerge. You might believe that because of insecurities, you are doomed to remain in the same situation forever, never improving. What can we do about this? Is there any way to erase insecurities from our head? Not exactly, but I think we can work on this problem by changing our perspective on these insecurities. While we may never fully block out insecurities, by discussing some misconceptions about these feelings, we can surely lessen their hold on us. Like the last section, I will cover each area individually. So first up is physical traits. Let me ask you a question. When you meet someone, do they automatically hone in on a feature you're insecure about? This is not just opinion, it's near 100% truth. Almost every physical insecurity you have is only noticeable to you. Why? Because people aren't looking for them. When you are interacting with someone, they are not scrutinizing your appearance, even if your mind is telling you otherwise. Rather, they are taking in the overall picture of you. The only reason for them to look directly at a specific quality is if it's an attractive one. Remember, people don't perceive you the same way you look at yourself in a mirror. They most likely won't notice that acne scar or if your face isn't perfectly symmetrical. Before I move on, I want to address one question some people still might have. What if I'm insecure about my height? Yes, I will admit that your height is a big part of your overall picture. However, I will also say this. If anyone truly belittles or rejects you because of your height, you should take it as a sign that they would provide absolutely no benefit to your life. Moving on to qualities and facts, I will again open with a question. Who knows? If you are meeting someone for the first time, they aren't going to know about that embarrassing moment from 6th grade. Let's go back to my example. If I approached a girl, would she know I am insecure about my inexperience? If I appear calm and confident, how could she? Here's the main idea. Do not let these types of insecurities cripple you in your journey. Even if feelings of anxiety and stress arise, try your hardest to start anyway, to just take that risk. If you lift yourself above these qualities that make you insecure, the only way someone will find out what makes you tick is if you tell them directly. Hopefully, if you make that decision, it is with someone who would never use that area of vulnerability against you. We all just can't immediately forget our insecurities, but at the very least, changing our mindset on how they actually impact our lives can substantially decrease their burden on us. For my final thoughts on insecurities, I'm going to call myself, you, and everyone else out. First, think back to the original soundbite of this video. It seems like just a joke, but there is something more to it. We have all done this before in our lives, where we tell ourselves, if only I had, or because I am, I can't. Instead of dealing with underlying problems, we look at ourselves on a surface level. We deflect the blame to our feelings of insecurity as the source of our struggle. This is especially evident if this insecurity is something that is out of your control, your height for example. By redirecting the blame, you feel slightly better because you know there is nothing you can do. Long term though, this behavior will do absolutely nothing for you. We need to stop this pattern and reflect. Ask yourself, what is really the problem here? Once again, let me go back to my own insecurities. I definitely have used my insecurities with my appearance to justify my inexperience with girls. I frequently would tell myself, when I get better looking, everything will work out. In reality, there were ways I could have moved towards improvement, but I took the short and easy route, blaming something out of my control. Let's think about it another way. Say a person is insecure about their height. Magically, they wake up the next day and they are 6'3". Are all of their problems going to instantly disappear? I don't think so. And if you agree with that, then you have to accept that height was never the issue. So what was it? Well, the true weaknesses within you will be uncovered through reflection. And although it might be hard to accept these flaws, there is a silver lining. You will be able to work on them. When you remove the blame from insecurities, you free yourself from stagnation and can now search for ways to improve in that specific area of your life. Or maybe you might realize that there was never any problems at all. It was only the blame itself. That will be up to you to figure out. To close out, I want to share some final words about the true essence of this topic. When we look at others, we instinctively see them in such a positive light, yet we scrutinize ourselves for every tiny flaw. We need to change this for our own sake. So I ask you, choose the alternate path to unhealthy self-criticism. Look at yourself how you look at others by seeing the overall picture. This is much easier said than done, but I believe that I can work on this, and I think you can too. Share this with someone else who needs to hear it. And as always, this has been Dark Horse, and I will see you in the next video.
Stay for the sun. Stay